Hello again, everybody. It's Harry Boxer, the technical trader at the techtrader.com. These are the charts of the day. Another strong day on Wall Street. The markets keep pushing higher, and a lot of our stocks are doing well. There's a few new ones on the list. Let's take a look at them. AFOP, which we've been talking about for weeks now, and its beautiful rising channel, have been taking it from the $10 range up to the $40 range. Recently as today, I should say, split 2-for-1. But the stock undauntably still went up another $1.15 or 6%. And does look higher. Looking back at the overall pattern, I have a target of 24.5 and then 30. Those are my targets for AFOP, and I think we're going to get them because of the pattern, technicals, and trajectory. Looks pretty darn good. CLDX, one of our swing trades, acting well. You can see the beautiful long-term chart. The pattern continues higher. And taking a look at the current pattern, it broke out, gave you a swing trade there, pulled back, ran up to new highs, flagged. Today it broke out again, and we got over 26 for the first time. Now my target was 28.9 range, but I'm thinking it's got to get up to 30 thereabout before it pulls back. So we're looking at another 4 points thereabout. DDD, well, a nice day today as the stock popped apparently out of the consolidation pattern, jumping 345 or 7%, 5.2 million, the biggest volume in 3 weeks. Or 2.5 weeks, but anyway, this wedge may have been broken. I'm looking for at the very least, a run up towards the 57 area, but likely this is going to see higher levels, and it may very well make it into the 63, 65 zone at some point. But let's see if we can get it up to the prior high first before I get too excited. That means to take out a 55. Facebook's been doing very well and stair-stepping up in a nice channel. As you know, the big breakaway gap in July and the beautiful channel up with the 1, 2, 3 waves. This is the 4th wave in here. It came down for 3 days, held the support zone. That was the prior highs in these blows in here. Take another look. So this is what I thought was support, and it held right at that 42, 40 range. Today spiked up to 45, 44, and closed up 256 or 6% on nearly 92 million. Big day for Facebook, and the highest close the stock has ever seen, ever, including the IPO day, which obviously ran up to 45 and it closed like 38 that day. So we can get up above this 45, 65 area thereabout. We should see the stock move to our next target in the 49.50 range. And then we're looking for a Elliott wave analysis tells us 54 and 61 may be targets. FU, well, this stock's had a fantastic movement. If you take a look at the overall structure in the last year or so, stock had popped wedge. We traded it here, had a beautiful move up in the middle of 2012, and then came down, at which point I forgot about it. Then it formed a big multi-month, almost a year-long channel, base. That was slightly taken out here, only to pull back and form another little consolidation. Look at the tight wedge on low volume here until the last 3 sessions when it exploded from a low of 419 to today's high at 605, nearly 50%. Let's call it 45% gain in 3 days. Now, I'm not sure how much further it goes before it pulls back and consolidates, but I will say this has momentum, and I'm looking for this stock eventually to make its way up towards 8.5 and then 10.5, 11. But for now, let's keep our eyes on whether it pulls back and consolidates and sets us up for more upside. Halozyme, important move today as it broke up $1.76 or 8.35% and 2.4 million traded. But more importantly, the overall base structure here indicates that the stock, if it can get through this 980.85 area, and it got right up to 995 today, could explode, filling this gap and moving up towards 13. That's my swing trade target. My short-term target is about 11, 11.25, 11.5, something like that. HIMX, beautiful coil forming, a little wedge here. After the big run-up, this is acting very well. Today it reversed from 837 to 916 and closed only a nickel off the high of 42 cents, nearly 5%. Buying picked up to 13.1 million, the best in 3 or 4 sessions. We can get it out over the multiple year high at 936, which was reached last week. I suspect we move upwards of, let's say 10, 10.5, and then 11.75, 12. That's my swing trade, 11.75, 12. Beautiful rising channel. Horizon Pharmaceuticals. Well, after a big drop from $8 down to the $2 range, you can see how it spent about a year, nearly, forming a beautiful base pattern. Today it exploded from 277 to 329, closing at 325, up 48 cents. It was up 17% on 3 million. I haven't seen the stock trade 3 million in a long time. So let's say that this could be a key breakout point. Not only did it get through the base, but it also got through the double bottom from here back in 2012. I think we're going to test this gap shortly at 350.55, maybe as quickly as tomorrow. At that point, we'll see whether we can get through that, because if we do, and that gap is filled, we could see 4 3/4, 490. HIMX, I think today could have been a big day for it. Let's see. The stock popped and went through this line and closed above that line, which is the key resistance level, as it reached 998 back in January, and today got up to 1003, closed at 10. A new multi-year closing high, 4 million shares, up 7.6%. Watch this one carefully, because in the next few days this could accelerate and quickly make it up towards 11, if not, higher than that. MXWL, current swing trade, pop, pulled back, gave you an entry up, and today it popped 39 cents at 4.3%. 500,000 traded. That's the biggest volume since the end of July or beginning of August. So 6-week high in volume, indicating to me we may see a pop and breakout and a run to my $11 target, followed by secondary target at 12.5. Nanovaricides, this has that huge move of late after a big downtrend that saw it drop from 264 down to literally pennies. We're 32 cents. The stock formed a little rounding bottom or head and shoulders, broke out, consolidated, popped again and consolidated, and then accelerated with explosive move that had an incredible day on it when it went from 133 to about 480 in a couple days. Now that pulled back and got quiet, very quiet in here for 4 days on low volume. Today it popped again, 95 cents or 26%, and the volume picked up to the best in 5 sessions. So if this can follow through and take out the 480 high, which we may test tomorrow, we could see as quickly as 6, as high as 6 very quickly. NQ, another big day for NQ. You can see the stock popped across resistance, pulled back, and today popped again. Now the stock jumped from 2026 to 2285, closed 22.5 up 190. That's a 9% gain, and 5.3 million traded. We can get it up above yesterday's high of 2295, and we were right there today. I think the stock makes it to mid-channel around 26, followed by a longer-term target in the low 30s. TPLM, a very, very strong-looking junior oil stock. Take a look at the long-term chart pattern. You can see that the spike high reached in March of 2011 at 9 was, that's not correct, I think it's 973, was tested today, reaching 955 before backing off. But nevertheless, the close was so strong, this stock is at resistance. If it blows through, we could see another spike up to 1112. But it appears to me that with that resistance being as formidable as it looks, despite the major breakout, the stock has run from about 640 up to 950 in a very short period of time. So look for some pullback consolidation. If we don't get it, watch for a spike up to exit. Long term, however, fabulous chart. And if it does break through, it's going to be an all-time high. So it could be free to run. Yelp, acting great in here. After this orderly pullback, it moved up slowly, accelerated, broke out, pulled back to retest today, jumping from 61.39 to 65.98. That's 4.5 points. Closed up 316, 5%, and 3 million shares traded. It closed at the highest level ever, and I think the stock has designs on mid-70s and then 80 eventually, but that's a little bit more down the road. And nevertheless, a very strong pattern with good technicals. This one looks higher. And lastly, ZLTQ, breaking out of a nice base here and pulling back to retest. Slow move up again. Today it popped 101 or 12% at 531,000 and closed at 930 up 101. As I said, they're right at resistance there, and that's why I may have backed off. Why is that resistance? Right at the major gap in here and this bottom from 2012. It does get through this zone. The next target is about 12.5, and then 14. And that's it for tonight. You guys have a good evening. Bye-bye.